NSFW, what is perfectly legal, but creepy as hell? In some places it's totally legal to eat human flesh and buy human leather. Bet it's a nightmare to find the right polish. Not in Poland. I approve of this comment. Whereabouts, with the exception of autonomous regions? Can't wait to coordinate my new human leather shoes with my favorite human flesh handbag. Fashion forward and cannibalistically chic, am I right? Smelling a seat when someone stands up. I saw a man do similar on a subway. A woman got up from her seat and he rushed over and pressed his cheek into the warm spot. So he just sat down then? Face first. My friend's dad took us to the gym when we were kids. There was a line of like 30 treadmills with only one person, a lady on the end. He proceeds to pick the only treadmill adjacent to hers. Lol, even as a kid I was like, Simon man. This is like the line of 50 urinals at the freeway rest stop. Picking the one next to the only one occupied on a slow day. In our office we had urinals that were physical individual units designed for one person and were quite spacious. I once saw the new guy in the office go up to a urinal next to someone and not realize that it was a urinal for one. The guy he shared with was the general manager and he was like, WTF. Couldn't stop laughing at the cringe. Maybe he wanted a sword fight. Those toddlers in tiaras pageants. Yay, televised child abuse. So this was basically the only comment here that was collapsed for me. Which I think only happens when it has a lot of downvotes in addition to the upvotes. Makes me hope that people just instinctively downvoted in disgust at the thought, and not because they disagree that it's creepy. If it had a significant amount of downvotes it'd be labeled as controversial. It is not. Plus only comments with a net negative amount of votes should be collapsed. That's how Reddit works. This was definitely a mod's doing. I'm just waiting for the day when they start rating toddlers' tantrums on a national TV show. Talk about a nail-biting competition. Making those websites that count down to, usually female, celebrities turning 18. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys. Check out Chloe's tits. I've never thought about them before this moment so it's not weird. I can fuck her get rejected by her now. Whoa. Till. I never understood this. Are men seriously sitting there waiting until midnight before unzipping their pants or something? Counting down to legal milestones is a bit weird, but hey, I guess there's nothing like celebrating the magical transformation of number digits to excuse some creepy anticipation. Divorce lawyer here. People fighting like mad to get the dog in the divorce and then turning it over to a shelter out of spite. Although now in CA there can be serious consequences for doing that due to recent law changes about pets and divorce, but it wasn't always that way. I can't imagine ever hating someone so much I'd be willing to take it out on an innocent animal. Hell, some of these people take it out on their own kids. I was going to say, seems like once a month I read a story about a parent killing a child because they are mad they lost custody or to prevent the other from getting custody. Necrophilia was legal in the Netherlands until June this year. It was only banned this year, WTF. Before this, it was a crime, but not explicitly. A corpse was seen as an object and it was a crime because necrophilia was seen as damaging an object that belonged to another, with punishments of up to 2 years in prison and a max fine of 22.500 euros. Now necrophilia is a crime of itself. Can I put it in my will that I consent to necrophilia after I die? At least I'll get to have sex. Exploiting your kids for fame on social media. I've seen the parents coaching the kids before when they didn't realize the camera was still recording / accidentally uploaded the unedited video. I remember that mom who kept telling her son to cry harder / look more sad BC his dog died, and he yelled at her I am sad. It was so disgusting. Makes me think of the influencer girl suffering from anorexia with her mother enabling her and supporting her not to seek treatment, but letting the disorder run freely. It's heartbreaking and I can't even comprehend why the mother is allowed to keep her daughter from getting better, while also inspiring other people to start messing around with their daily intake of calories. It's disgusting and dangerous, and I feel for the poor girl. I truly hope she will get away from her abusive mother to start healing. I'd rather post pictures of my pet Rock doing yoga in a tiny tutu, but hey, exploiting my kids for likes works too, I guess. #parenting goals. Lawyer here. I once had a client drink another person's unflushed pee from a public toilet. The judge clearly hated that he had to dismiss my client's case. Edit. Lots of great questions, but I will remember what I learned at an MCLE training from Michael Jackson's lawyer. No comment is never the wrong answer. Judge, you're guilty of being super disgusting, but unfortunately for all of us, you somehow didn't actually break any laws. We have no law to fit your crime. Lawyers, the law is sacred. Also lawyers, I successfully defended someone's right to drink pee out of a public toilet. Following people on the street for extended periods of time. When Jeffrey Donovan was preparing for the role of Michael Weston Burn Notice, about a spy, he followed people on the street and see if he could follow them without being caught. You'd have to be really, really bad at it for me to notice. It was likely Miami given the setting of the show. Sounds like he did it before production started, so he probably didn't do it in Miami unless he lives there. I've always found that following people on the street is a great way to practice my marathon skills without actually having to run. Efficiency and creepiness rolled into one, am I right? Sitting at a pool, with a camera. Fully clothed. Being on the receiving end of that is angering. Dude in his mid-60s employed at the DoD contractor campus where I work set up his deck chair facing the exit of the ladies' locker room. I had already clocked him when would come to the campus gym and work out shirtless and ask people, women, how old they though he was. He also helped women with their weightlifting technique whether they wanted it or not. Anyway, I had noticed he was sitting in his deck chair multiple times over the course of a week, watching women as they came out. Then suddenly the furniture in the locker room was rearranged so the towel shelf was moved closer to the lockers and the bench we used to change into our suits, you know, where you get fully naked before putting on your swimsuit, was moved to be totally visible when the exit door was opened. That dude was full on creep. So glad he was dismissed after I and multiple other women complained. As I casually sit by the pool, fully clothed with my camera, I can't help but wonder if I'll capture the beauty of a synchronized belly flop or the elegance of a cannonball gone wrong. Life is full of captivating moments, isn't it? Paparazzi. We have the right of complete access to your private life because a lot of people enjoy work that you do. That's the reasoning for their jobs. Thank God paparazzi is basically illegal in Europe. Edit, the European Union, not the whole of Europe. UK is excluded. I don't know about Russia. Didn't know this. I'm sure plenty of American celebrities' mental health would benefit tremendously from that sort of environment. The whole concept, assuming it is like the movies, is ridiculous. I never thought I'd say this, but paparazzi should seriously consider starting a creepy fashion line called Stalking Couture. It's like stalking, but make it fashion. Groping women for up to tens in Italy. Imagining a stereotypical Italian guy running around with a stopwatch. That's assault. No senora, it's only been 9 seconds. Ciao Bella. It's assault at the moment you putter your fingers in the pie, said in Poppy from Seinfeld's voice. It's me. I touch your pay for 3 + 3 + 3 secunda I. Walking into an elevator and not turning around. At Disneyland, when it was Tower of Terror, they had you go upstairs and or regular elevators, versus the elevator ride, to get to the loading platform. Usually a cast member would act creepy or silly and say fun things as the elevator doors closed. One time a cast member, Tower of Terror bellhop, stepped in and just faced inwards towards us. Didn't say anything, just stared and slowly smiled more and more. And when the doors opened they took a step back and gestured where to walk, never breaking the creepy smile or 1,000-yard stare. It was perfectly unsettling. Man, I miss the Tower of Terror bellhops. They were even more dedicated to their roles than the Haunted Mansion cast members. ETA, I'm saying this because the Tot in Disneyland got rethemed to Guardians of the Galaxy. The TTS in WDW, Paris, and Tokyo, which is its own special deal, are all still there. Walking into an elevator and not turning around? That's like giving everyone an unexpected horror movie jump scare without even needing a script.